Juliet wakes up in her hotel room with a loud scream. Oh my God! Who are you? What are you doing on my bed? The only other guy responds, I should be the one asking you that question. What are you doing on my bed in my hotel room? Juliet screams, oh my God, what have I done? As she exits the hotel room, she's met her fiancé who asks her what she was doing in that room, that he has been looking for her all over the place. As she was about answering him, the strange guy from that room comes out. Juliet and her friends had lots to drink as it was her wedding eve. She had lots of alcohol that night that she eventually ended up in a stranger's bed in the hotel. Caught by her fiancé, Ike, he immediately called off the wedding, calling her a harlot and a shawo who goes about sleeping with different men and deceiving him to be celibate until their wedding night. With tears in her eyes, she pleads for him to hear her out as she was totally confused. She could not recollect the events that led her into the stranger's bed that night. That every event that happened that night was foggy, but will not give her a listening ear. Immediately, he storms out of the hotel in rage. As Juliet got to her apartment, she tries to remember the events of that night, but she could not as she had so much alcohol in her system. Even when she asked some of her friends that were also there that night about what really happened, how she found herself in a stranger's bed, none could give her an answer she was looking for. They all claimed to be drunk that night, since they had too much to drink that night to celebrate her bridal shower. When she got to the office, the news of her wedding being cancelled was the talk of the office. As she walked into her office, all eyes were on her. Some were gossiping what a slut she was, even on her wedding night. She could not wait that she had to sleep with another man in his own bed. What a shame to humanhood. Meanwhile, on the other side, the strange guy named Robert was a wealthy CEO of a company. As he and his friends went out for a drink, he told them what had happened over the night, how he met a beautiful girl on his bed, and how he slept with her. They all laughed hard and called him a player boy who will never change. As Robert was about entering his car, he was stopped by a lady, Juliet, of whom he recognized as the lady from the other night whom he slept with. Juliet tried comforting him, asking him why he raped her. With tears in her eyes, she told him that he has ruined her life, that her wedding has been cancelled. Robert was shocked to hear the sad news. He tried to explain that he thought she was a call girl he had demanded earlier to be sent to his room by the manager. But she said to him, stop lying, you have ruined my life. Robert tried to explain, but she walks out. Juliet had to take an emergency leave from work just to gather her thoughts as to what is happening in her life, how a one-night stand with a stranger has destroyed her life totally. Juliet is seen pondering in her room what actually happened that night. Why is that she can't recall a thing that night? When her friend Sarah came visiting, she asked Sarah again, as her chief bridesmaid, why she allowed her to get so drunk that she ends up in another man's bed a day before her wedding. Sarah apologizes to her, trying to comfort her that she will be alright. She should take things easy. Robert is seen discussing with his bosom friend Eric, telling him that he feels so sorry for ruining a girl's life. He thought that she was a call girl and that the sex was consensual. She didn't force himself on her, that she enjoyed every bit of it. He told Eric he was going to trace the girl's house so he can go over and apologize to her and explain things. Robert is seen knocking on a door. Juliet opens the door and starts shouting, Mr. Man, what are you doing here? Are you stalking me? Get out of my house. Have you not done enough? What else do you want? I will call the police on you. As she was about shutting the door, she collapsed. Robert, as a gentleman, quickly rushes her to the hospital, where she was confirmed pregnant. In shock, Juliet could not believe what she was hearing. How managed? How did that happen? She remembers vividly visiting the hospital to check herself after that incident on her wedding eve. She even took some contraceptive. So, how is it possible she was still pregnant? Robert is seen consoling her that she will be fine, that any decision she takes to keep the baby or terminate the baby is fine by him. After all, he was not ready to father a child now. Days later, Juliet is seen exercising, keeping fit for the baby. Her baby bump appeared. It was at the supermarket that Robert saw that she decided to keep the baby without telling him. The next day, he packs a bag and heads for Juliet's house. On arrival, Juliet asks him, "Mr. Man, what are you doing in my house again?" Robert answers, "I have come to stay to give you the support you and my baby in your womb need." Juliet, with a stern look, walks away and goes to her room, leaving him standing in the sitting room. Juliet quickly calls up her friend Sarah and tells her what Robert was up to. She encourages her to allow him stay to give her the support she needs now she's pregnant. Days later, as she was going for antenatal care, Robert insists on following her. When they return, he gives her a foot massage. They are both seen cooking in the kitchen, watching TV together, gisting. Before you could say Jack, they both fell in love with each other. Meanwhile, Robert's friend Eric comes around visiting. He shows Robert a video clip which he obtained from the barman of the hotel, which that incident took place. In the video clip, Sarah is seen spiking Juliet's drink with a substance that made her drunk. Immediately, Juliet returns from the supermarket and she's shown the video clip. In rage, they all storm Sarah's house. As she knocks on the door, Sarah comes out and asks why she seems angry as Juliet confronts her with the video clip. Suddenly, a man comes out of her room and it was Juliet's ex-fiancé she was supposed to get married to. In shock, Juliet tells Sarah, "So this has been your plan all along, to snatch him from me. Well, your plan worked out well. You can keep him. I don't need trash." Sarah started pleading for mercy, that she's sorry for hurting Juliet, that she was the first person that saw Nonso and fell in love with him, only for Nonso to see Juliet and they decided to get married. That was why she did what she did, to spike her drink so that she would be drunk, and her plan was to take her to a room where someone she paid would sleep with her and she will video the whole thing and give it to Nonso, who will then call off the wedding. But she made things easy for her by she moving into another man's room all by herself, and also by sleeping with the man. Juliet and her newfound love, Robert, just looked at them and walked away. Days later, on her birthday, she is surprised with an engagement ring by Robert, who goes down on his knee and proposes to her and asks her to marry him, that he wants to marry her before the arrival of their baby. She quickly, in excitement, says yes, and they hug each other, and they had a beautiful, grand wedding. I've come to the end of this story. Until next time, bye.